Well, I have a confession to make. I'm very, very bad at YouTubing. So, quite a bit has taken place since my last video. There's been a lot of tearing apart, a lot of discoveries, and mostly tearing apart stuff. But we'll go through all that stuff, and I'll kind of explain what I've done and kind of go through the car a little bit. We found quite a bit of junk. A whole lot of jankery with the wiring. It's an actual surprise that I didn't even realize was an issue, but we found that it was clearly an issue. So I'll put a picture up like right here or something of what happened. It's kind of well known in the LS stuff. On the flex pipes in the hot side, there's sometimes they use a steel meshing for the bellow, for the flexible stuff, inside of the actual hot side. So what happens is the exhaust pressure comes in and it actually warps that mesh and it'll come apart and go into your turbo. Well, that's exactly what happened to us. So let's see if I can kind of show you everything. So, I don't really know where the steel stuff is, but here's what I've got done so far. We've got the turbo off. I started kind of relocating everything. I'm fitting a stock Gen 4 and NBS intake. It has taken a significant amount of massaging. You can kind of see back there of the firewall. So it still doesn't really fit perfect, but it'll just take a little bit of hammer time and we'll get her fixed up. I'll order us a new throttle body, probably just a cheap eBay throttle body, cable driven. Get that. We're relocating the battery. And yeah, that'll probably be the basic. Oh, the Holly. We started on the Holly as well. So I actually don't have the system yet, but I did have a transmission harness from X-Max that I'm using on my white car. But we don't have the ECU or anything yet, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to mount it, how I'm going to mount it, or anything like that yet. So if you guys got any ideas for an SM95, let me know. But here's the good stuff right here. So here's our new Gen 2.5 7875 billet freaking turbo. Look at that stuff, dude. I love turbos so very much. So I bought this secondhand from a guy who needed some parts, and we kind of did some trading and everything. It's a V-band housing though, so we're gonna have to adapt the T4 to the V-band. Not a big deal. It's just gonna kind of push the turbo out of the hood a little bit. You know, I love me some hood exit turbos, so that's okay. I'm not gonna complain there. So check this out. This is how bad our other turbo was. There's nothing wrong with the cheap GT45. Except for the fact that they're cheap, man. They don't really last very good. So this turbo was probably a whopping 150 bucks on eBay or something. So it did its job. I believe it made around 500 horsepower or so. And this is the main reason why I started this. So this is all the jank, hacked together crap from the stock harness. Like, look at all of this junk, man. It's all, like, you can make this stuff work on a budget. I get it. Budget builds are great and all until they're not great. So this is just, look at all this crap, man. This wire's cut. I think dirty, nasty. I found so much junk. Look, and I don't even know. I'm not even going to begin to try to take it apart and figure out what they're doing. But yeah, that's what they got with that. So that's an update on this car. We'll see. I have a really bad habit of putting everything together a lot nicer than it was and it immediately blowing up. I kind of suspect that's what's going to happen on this one. But if it does, hey, it's a Gen 3 LS. They can go pick up another one for, 500 bucks. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll see what happens with it, and I may throw another video in this series. We'll see. I don't know yet. Thanks for following. All right, So it's been a minute since my last video. Just gonna edit this into the one that I'm making right now. But finally some freaking parts are in. We got an adapter for the VS Racing dual V-band turbo 7875. And we have the T4 3-inch adapter. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to weld this thing on here. So I could have got they make the T4 with the 3-inch V-band on it all in one, but the inlets to the VS Racings are a little bit different. So you can kind of see, let's see here, yeah, this one right here. So you can kind of see they're different flanged. It's really this receiver groove right here that's different. So every freaking turbo is different. Every flange is different. And it's a nightmare, actually. So even though I bought the exact one off of VS Racing, low dollar turbo or whatever it is, I still had to freaking modify this thing. This is a Gen 2 7875 or billet 7875. Hey, look at this sucker. Look at this pretty turbo. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Billet goodness. But, anyways. So even though I bought the exact one that was supposed to go on this stupid thing, I still had to modify it for the receiver groove to fit. So I had to, on this particular one, I had to grind this outer groove out, the outside of the inside, if that makes any sense, for this to fit. And so then the receiver groove fits on, and it kind of just slots in there, and then it doesn't move. So it doesn't pop off like a regular V-band. So I had to modify that a little bit. Not a big deal. I have tons of tools and stuff for that. Maybe not the right way to do it, but whatever. So what we're going to do now is we are going to weld this puppy on here. And come over here. Don't mind the red intake. We're going to bolt it on right there, which will put my turbo in a very similar spot as the old one. It's going to be up a little bit, so I might have to modify my hood just a touch more. But that's okay. Nothing like a big old hole in a hood. But that's your update. Here we go. I was over here ready to start trash talking my welds because I'm not a freaking welder, but smashing these things, freaking dimes. Alright. There we go. Check this out. Nice, beautiful. Beautiful poop weld. Look at that. Oh my god, I'm so bad at welding, guys. So, yeah. So we're going to let this thing cool down and go ahead and install it on the car and see what she looks like. Alright, so I got everything mounted up. Looks pretty freaking sick. I love the way the billet turbos look. We're going to go ahead and just kind of go over everything and then probably end this video off here. Next one, hopefully, will be fitting up a new intake and getting everything plumbed in. And the Holly should be here pretty soon for it, and we're going to be good to go. This is how she turned out. Obviously, we'll rotate this down to meet our cold side. But our adapter that we just made is down here. Looks freaking great. Obviously, those bolts are a little bit long, but I think it's okay. I think that's gonna work just fine. Then we'll build our old exhaust was 3.5 inch. This is a 3-inch outlet. So we'll probably have to remake all of this, which I didn't really like the old one anyway. So we'll remake all this, come back down and around, and hit our little fender exit here, and that'll be that. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.